You're listening to BBC OS Conversations on Black and Latino male voters in the US from the BBC World Service. It's widely accepted that this election race is very close, and in those key 7 states I referred to earlier, it's said that gains among Black and Latino voters could be decisive. In Arizona and Nevada, for example, around 20 to 25% of voters are expected to be Latino. Pennsylvania is another important state for both candidates. It reportedly has one of the fastest growing Hispanic communities in the country. As you might expect, immigration is an issue that resonates with Latino communities. And before we play our next conversation, I just want to mention there is a reference to DACA, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, which protects from deportation those who were brought into the US illegally as children. One of our next guests, David, who's of Puerto Rican heritage, grew up in Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. He was in conversation with history student Jose, who's at a community college in Illinois, and Duke, who runs a Latino Republican website and lives in Texas.
I'm voting for Donald Trump for president because I know that he's going to take care of our border situation. I know he'll be better for our economy. He'll stop the inflation that we're dealing with here. I know he's more about security and safety for our communities, and he supports police.
My name is Jose. I will be probably voting for Kamala Harris. I think that we should look into expanding the pathway to citizenship or making it easier for people to obtain citizenship here. I will be voting for Kamala because she seems to have a better view on economic and foreign policy.
My name is David. I'm going to vote for Donald Trump because we were better 5 years ago than we are today. So I feel like Donald Trump will bring back, that stability that we need in our nation. We have a lot of problems in this country, and we need solutions. We don't need to keep talking about, and in Spanish we call it bochinche. We need to be talking about how do we solve these problems, because we are in bad shape, let's admit that. I go to the supermarket with $150, $200. I used to bring home nice groceries. Now I can't do that. I need at least $400 or maybe more. And also the gas. The gas is expensive. I don't know how is it in Texas with you guys. Things are out of control. Wars overseas. You think those wars, printing that extra money is going to help our economy? No. You just can't go in and try to buy your way out of these wars. I don't live in Texas, but I'm going to tell you here in Pennsylvania, we have problems with immigrants. I mean, some of these folks, I'm not saying that everybody's bad, but then not everybody has good intentions either. We live it day by day. So when we hear Donald Trump repeat these things, yeah, he's with us because we feel it. Rent is high. The interest rates are high. It's ridiculous.
David and Duke, you both say you're going to vote for Donald Trump. I mean, this is a man who has said that immigrants have poisoned the blood of our country. He's promised the largest mass deportation of migrants in history. He has accused Mexico of bringing drugs, crime, and rapists into the US. You are Latinos of immigrant origin. How and why would you go for a man who says those kinds of things?
The premise of your question is false. The things that you're saying are kind of repeats of the leftist media that we deal with here. The things that he says, there's truth behind it. Maybe people don't want to acknowledge the facts that criminals, rapists, murderers are coming across the border. I'm in Texas here, so we see it. These people are getting arrested in our local cities and towns. Someone has to stop it. Someone has to call it out and not be afraid to say the truth.
Jose, what do you make of the comments that Donald Trump has said about immigrants?
I'm Mexican. He's made a lot of comments about Latinos, calling them rapists in his rallies. I think that he's not mentally fit to be in office. I know a lot of people, when Biden was running, the issue was that he was too old. Now Trump's too old. He doesn't want to do mental tests. And on top of that, he's a felon. He just lowered the bar for any future president that we will have. And I think like the rest of the world was laughing at us. We shouldn't forget, what happened when he ran the first time, making fun of reporters. And I'll also admit, with Biden in office, I wasn't all that confident either. So I agree with a lot of their points on the economy under Biden, but I also want to point out that independent economic policy review found that under Kamala, more people are going to see money in their pockets than under Trump.
Do you think Kamala's going to improve our economy based on her record already? Man, I don't even know how you could think that. I mean, more of the same is not going to be any better, and you know it's tough here. 4 more years of this economy, and this country's in trouble.
Is this an issue that has split your families? Are your families and close friends voting the same way as you?
I can speak for my family. Many used to vote Democrat, and they're all voting for Trump.
Is this the first
Yeah.
time that they are going to vote for Trump? They voted Democrat until this election?
No, they voted for him before, and they're going to vote for him again. But prior to him, they were all Democrat history voters.
Yeah, I have the same thing. I have family members that voted for Joe Biden, and now they're going to vote for Trump because they don't like the direction of the country's going. And also in my community, because I'm in Philadelphia, we have a lot of Democrat voters are going to vote for Trump.
I'm the only one that can vote at this time. Everyone else is on DACA. So this will be my first time voting on a presidential level. But the people who can vote in my family, they're all voting for the Democrats.
Do you think that there is a real risk to the Democratic Party by the drop of Latino voters this time around? Because the majority that Harris has among Latino voters, according to opinion polls, is much slimmer than Biden had and previous Democrats.
I do think that's going to be a problem, but I don't think it'll be as big of a problem than Donald Trump losing the moderate center right. People that I know are switching to Trump is a matter of economic policy, but then like the people that are staying for Kamala Harris is for the immigration aspect.
David, you're in Pennsylvania, arguably the most important swing state of the lot. Are you seeing there that the Latinos are deserting Harris?
Yes, I see the Latinos deserting the Democratic Party. One of the main reasons, the economy and the border and the foreign wars. We can expect change by keep doing the same thing over and over. And I'm going to tell you something. Kamala Harris, some people say, well, she's a woman. You know, Hillary Clinton was a woman. And I disagree a lot of stuff with Hillary Clinton, but at least Hillary Clinton was a leader. This lady is not a leader.
And I would say that, in my opinion, the conservative Latino voter is going to save this country. It will be the difference in a Trump victory. And it's because we see how the left is attacking our culture. The Latino culture, now they just want to call us all Latinx. No, I don't agree with that.
Do you think that the polarization, the divisions can lessen? Do you think you can reunite and become the United States of America again?
I do. There's a couple issues that we can work on together. I know Jose talked about pathway to citizenship. I'm not opposed to working on something, but it's got to be a bill that makes sense. We all want solutions. So I think there are ways that we can work together, but we do have to agree that America still is the greatest place on the planet. It's what we think here. And, if we can start with a common ground of, look, we're not perfect, but we're getting better. And let's come up with some solutions that do work for everybody. I think we can make progress. There can be unity.
Duke in Texas, Jose in Illinois, and David in Pennsylvania. They may not all agree politically, but you heard them agree that they all have pride in the country where they live. I'm Krupa Badi, and you've been listening to BBC OS Conversations on US Black and Latino male voters from the BBC World Service.